Hey, everybody. It's your girl, Miss Trina, and this is Speak on It. I know some of you are probably on the other, let me get the comments, the other shows. So y'all are missing Mr. Donnie with his, I'm trying to remember what he says. Wait a minute, he may be on here coming on now. Okay, no, he's not. So we have two, sorry. We have two special guests today I'm so excited about. Miss Valerie, I always say her name backwards, Valerie Johnson Reed or Reed Johnson. Tell me.
Johnson Reed is fine.
Almost had it, yes.
You
And
got it
then Miss
right.
Seal, the writer, huh?
You got it right. You were
So,
right.
okay. So I'm so excited to have them. And our topic today is really exciting. Donnie and I have talked about this for a few weeks, and I remembered that Seal did a workshop about something like this. So I thought I'd have them both on because I thought they would be a good to vibe off of with this topic. So we're going to talk about, a lot of us are doing boundaries, creating boundaries, and it's difficult. First of all, especially with family. Family feel that you can't create a boundary for them. My daughters are adults now, and they with these two ladies, I've been able to say, okay, let me allow them to give their boundaries, and I'll do my best to try to work with it. And it's a
Correct.
little hard, but to be honest with you, it's made I don't want to use the word make them respect me more, but I believe it makes our relationship better that they see that I'm making an effort, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
We're going to get into it, knowing just with these friendships, when is it time to just let go? Is it worth the difficult conversation? And that's why Donnie has to come in. He has a whole opposite opinion about these difficult conversations, but having the difficult conversation to say, hey, maybe it's not worth that. You know, let's go, ladies.
Okay. I mean, where do we want to start? I think that we
I
can
was
go.
gonna say, where do we start? I don't
I
know.
know it's so big. Let me just say this: my daughters. So when I was younger, I don't know if you guys had this. We just go in my grandmother's house at any time. We just walk in the door and we there. We go in the refrigerator and everything. Well, my kids have explained to me two things. One, I need to let them know that I'm coming that direction out of respect to them. Two, um, the other thing, social media. We love our babies. We want to brag on our babies, and they've asked me politely and respectfully to allow them to put out news first. So
Okay.
at this age, I should say, I guess as babies, we can do whatever we want to, but because Elijah Drew be out there, I see him.
Elijah Drew is, yes, he has his own brand identity at this point. So
That is so funny.
he's
So
good.
starting there with having accepting boundaries, or with our senior saints, if you will, our parents.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of think of it in the, I know it's cliche, but we say all the time, treat people how you want to be treated. I think boundaries, that works for boundaries as well. It's like we have boundaries, whether we call them or label them boundaries or not. We all have boundaries, and we want people to respect those boundaries, or support us in those boundaries that we've set. So at the same time, it doesn't feel good being on the receiving end when someone's putting their boundaries in place, but we give boundaries all the time, we set boundaries all the time. So I think it's necessary for mature friendships and mature relationships to be able to communicate your capacity, your boundaries, just be able to be honest and transparent with one another. And I think, like you said, that's when you see like the beauty and the evolution of relationships, when you can communicate that and it's not taken in offense, or it's not like, oh, you're acting funny, but it's just like, hey, this is where I am, and I can are you able to respect the fact that this is where I am and this is what I need from you at this time? So that's kind of how I feel about boundaries, just in
Yeah,
general.
just in
Yeah.
general.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's the part that's really I guess it's kind of sad to me in a sense, because for so long people didn't respect boundaries. You go to somebody's house, it's just you're supposed to open the door. You're supposed to do certain things. But no, it's respect the boundaries that they have set. If they're not, you don't pop up at somebody's house without calling first or making sure it's okay for you to come over. So I think for so long we let things slide until now we're coming to a part in time where we're like, you know what? No, that's not okay. It was okay when I was a child, but no, no more. And so I think it's evolving, but is it evolving fast enough? That's the part I don't know about.
And that's what. Well, first, I'm going to introduce the Louisiana country boy.
Hi.
Hey y'all, I'm so sorry I'm late, but I was country boy.
You right on
Look,
time. Party
I
just
heard y'all got some hot
started.
stuff to talk about, and I've been over on the other side over there chomping at the bit, ready to get over here and hear about. Wait a minute, what's that thing called? What's the name of the topic? Tell me. You know that
What did
thing?
we talk about last week? What did we
You talk
say?
about them old, look, because our country boy got two bits to put in a difficult conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's difficult. It's difficult.
Yeah.
They are
Wait a minute,
difficult. They are difficult.
wait a
It's
minute, wait a
difficult to
minute.
receive it. I'm sorry, country boy. What you say?
Well, I'm just curious. Can I ask? I don't know if a question been asked. Okay, I don't ask a question, but old country boy got one question for all you ladies up there, because I'm surrounded. Why is the conversation different? Because this is how country boy looks at it. Can I tell you how I look at it, and y'all can look back at me? If I got to have a difficult conversation with you, I don't need to have no conversation. Because if we like this, if we cool like we get out, then we can talk about anything. But now, if
I
I
agree.
start to think it's going to be a difficult conversation, I don't even need to talk to you. We ain't got nothing to talk about, really.
I was going to say I think the people involved make it difficult, not that the conversation itself.
Correct.
I think, but it also is a matter of maturity. I feel like if you have a mature,
Mhm.
like I said, Val and I, we've known each other for a few years now, and we've had high and lows as far as our life experiences. But if there's we have correction even in our sisterhood. Like she'll be like, "Not seal," and I'll be like, "Sis, okay, remember." But it's never any offense.
It's not difficult.
It's not difficult. It's
No.
just, out of love, this is what I'm telling you. Out of wisdom and out of experience, this is what I'm expressing to you. So I think the people and the level of maturity
Yeah.
is what makes it difficult from either one party or another, or
Yeah.
sometimes both.
I agree.
I like
I
to.
And
agree.
also, for me, with difficult conversation, what I think about is I agree with the maturity, but being it when you say it, someone receiving what you're talking about, whether you were hurt or maybe you think that person. So I have a strong issue with it ends up being a confrontation, and
Mm,
that's when I that's that's kind of where I'm at sometimes when I know I need to have this conversation with someone. It
Hmm.
needs to be had, but then it's like, should I? Because it's going to become for me a confrontation, it seems, you know.
yeah.
But why? I guess that's my. I guess we Sil and I talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Why does it have to be a confrontation? Why
Yeah.
can't it just be two people having a conversation? Why does it have
Mhm.
to be confrontational?
But you know what I think though? And
Hmm.
this is just what I'm assuming and what I've
Mhm. Mhm.
observed. And
Mhm.
Trina, tell me if this is your same
Oh
experience
yeah.
or feel free to
Oh yeah.
disagree. I think sometimes we let so much slide. Like we don't hold people accountable the
Yes.
first time or even the second and third time. So when you finally speak up, they're like, well, where is this coming from? They're
Mhm.
blindsided, they're victim. It's like, what you tripping or what you got going on or whatever. And
Mhm.
it's because we did not, again, the lack of boundaries in the beginning has not caused it to be some type of tension and a type of offense now that I'm saying something because you've
Mhm.
been allowing me to do this. You've
Right.
been, oh, okay with it. You've been riding with me, even though I was behaving this way. Why now are you saying something? And I think that is sometimes when you delay having a conversation, it makes it
Mhm.
difficult. It makes it feel
Difficult.
like a confrontation.
Anxiety
Yeah,
provoking as well.
when you could have just
Hmm.
said, "Hey, up
Mhm.
front, like, that's not gonna work for me, girl."
Right. Well, and I think also too with that on the same line, I think that there's like a fear to hurt people's feelings rather than be honest and truthful.
Mm,
And because of that, now there's a false narrative. And
yeah.
now you have to have that quote unquote difficult conversation. and it wasn't a problem before, so why is it a problem now?
Why is it a problem? But what do we say all the time, Dal?
Mm-hmm.
Facts, not feelings.
Facts, not
You
feelings.
have,
Right.
if you just stick to, and that's another thing. And I've had to vocalize this recently, just the importance of timing and in the format and way in which you're having everything is not a text message.
Yes.
Everything
Correct.
is
Oh,
not a phone call. Sometimes you need
correct.
to be able to see my face and see my heart to know that I'm not trying to hurt you in what I'm
Mhm.
saying. But hey, like we
Mhm.
just need to chop it up and get on the same page. But at the
Correct.
same time, you have to give yourself enough pause to take the feeling out of it and just focus on the fact. It's not even the
Mhm.
person that you're mad at, it's the offense. So it's just like you have to be able to separate the two in order to make it a healthy dialogue.
Or
Correct.
even if it's not in a situation that I'm thinking of, that I had a difficult conversation and lost a friend, I think that has just traumatized me. But
Mhm.
sometimes it's not even about you being mad. You see something that might not be right with the relationship. So you decide to make a phone call and say, hey, I know this, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But that person may be just offended, like out of nowhere. And again, I'm someone, that's when I think it changes into, and the word might be strong that I'm using when I use confrontation, but it becomes,
No, that's the right. That's
That's
how.
the right word.
Yeah.
That's correct.
it becomes a difficult conversation.
Please.
It's like, that's not what I called for. I called for us to for me to see what's wrong,
Yeah.
and it becomes this thing, which I think is really sad.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's reality. Can we do that? Can we
Mm-hmm.
pick up the phone and
But I
say,
think it's build up sometimes too, though. But
mhm,
it goes back to when you let stuff build up. So let's say, for example, I have someone who every time they call, I'm like, oh, what
mhm,
they
mhm,
want. I know they're gonna be on some this. Instead of just like, hey, like whatever your irritation or whatever your bone to pick is with the person, instead of leveling that out, you wait until it's so built up to where this could have just been a simple conversation of a line
Mm-hmm.
getting on the same track. Now it's turned into, oh, I thought like I care about you, like you're someone I consider a friend, and now we're looking at each other like strangers, like enemies, because you've allowed it to build up into that instead of addressing it early on. And I think that again, it goes back to what Val said. We're tiptoeing around
Mm-hmm.
feelings, but what
mhm.
ends up happening when you delay the conversations, it explodes. My pastor recently said, he was like, we're so scared to rock the boat, but he was like, you rather rock the boat or you want your ship to sink? You got two options. You either have the conversation and the boat rock a little bit because maybe the conversation is not easy, but it needs to be had, or you rather the whole ship to sink.
Correct.
So
Correct.
right, right,
And
right.
and so and the scary thing about that is, I agree with everything that Seal said. And the scary thing about that is that there are so many people willing to risk it all because they don't want to have that difficult
Conversation.
conversation.
Mhm,
They're
mhm,
willing to let the ship go down because
mhm.
I don't want to hurt this person's feelings. When in actuality, how can you lead? And this goes into my leadership spiel.
mhm.
How
Mhm.
do you lead and you're not able to have conversations that may be considered difficult?
Difficult, that
How?
part.
As a leader, whether I'm a leading my house, a leader in my job, a leader in my church, a leader in my community, wherever I'm leading, I have to be with my children. I have to have conversations with them that may not be pleasant, but it's best.
Mhm.
And if I don't have those conversations with them because I don't want to hurt their feelings, then am I really being the leader? Am I really being the parent that I need to be to them?
Mhm.
And that's, I just think we're looking at feelings, but I believe in sticking with the facts. Let's stick
Yeah.
with the facts.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. And there are some leaders who I agree with you. So there's a leader that I know of that's very there's no ever any pushback. It's
Mhm.
always yes, yes, yes. And you know how that doesn't work in leadership, to just say yes, because it yeah,
Because
it does not come out
it's
very
just
well.
going along to get along. They just going
Look
along to
that
get
way,
Right.
along.
yeah.
You
Right.
They
Right.
say they use the word play the game. And I mean, I get that to a certain degree, but I just can't just let you roll over me with a bulldozer.
No.
Yeah. I feel
Because
like rule of thumb is if I'm still thinking about it, like let's say something happened, whatever it could be as small or as big as we can envision. But if I'm still thinking about it midday and this happened this morning, okay, a conversation needs to be had. If this is still like I can't go to sleep or I can't shake it, I feel like that's not something that you let slide. And again, it doesn't have to be confrontation. It doesn't have to be negative. But I feel like the only way to have healthy relationships, healthy friendships, is to be able to communicate, even if it's not your intent, because people are like, oh, well, that's not what I meant, but this is how you made me feel. And that's why I'm just wanting to clarify and confirm and just say, hey, it's no bad blood. Like I'm not angry. I'm just letting you know that we talk about this a lot with grief. Val and I talk about this all the time. People mean well. They say, oh, well, at least you had 5 years with them. Or we'll just think about it like this way. Or, what? And I'm just like,
Oh, wow.
okay, your intentions were pure, but that's
Right.
to educate people. Like, hey, when you say those things, those hallmark greetings, what I like to call them, it doesn't make a person who's grieving or going through that feel comforted with those words. So I think it's just educating people. We're all come from different experiences, all walks of life, so we have to be able to communicate like what it is that I expect out of this relationship or this friendship
That
or
you
this
need
career,
too.
and what is it that I need back. And
Right.
it's okay, and it shouldn't be no fallout. And if we fall out, then we wasn't really tight like I thought we were anyway. It is
That part.
so. I'm
That
not.
part.
Hey, I'm
With
not.
no country boy.
Yeah, that's what he said. Let me
exactly.
just say, ladies, that's what he said yesterday when I brought up the topic last week. I mean,
I just,
go ahead, country boy. I know you got something bubbling in there to say.
I'm sorry. I had to dip out because the executive producer called. And look, let me tell y'all, she takes
That's his
precedence over
daughter.
ours. I'll tell you right now.
Okay, we hear you.
Well, look, I just want, is it the conversations and the difficult or the nice? I say just say what you say, how you say it, okay? Too many, you ain't got the sugarcoat, you ain't got the, just say it. Because a lot of times for me, in my opinion, and I don't know very much, a lot of times it's difficult not because of them, but because of us. Because we trying to figure out how to get it out. We trying to figure out, when somebody, even the grief thing, what you just said, they're not speaking to you, they're speaking from them. Because they're speaking from at least you still got. Because when they say, well, at least you still got, that's probably somebody that's done lost somebody. So they ain't speaking from you. They're speaking from their experience and their hurt or their place. Or like, you know what? I wish somebody would have been there for me. Because they're thinking like, well, at least I said something. I did come up and say something. I didn't just come up here looking like, most people do come looking because they be like, well, I don't know what to say. Well, then you ain't even got to come around here because I'm sorry.
That part. No. Keep going.
Please, I don't need to come around here eating a piece of my chicken sitting around. Look here, I'm just one of them, okay? In the grief aspect of it, I don't need a whole bunch of folks sitting around the house. Ain't nobody saying that, just looking.
Not doing a thing, just looking.
Ain't nobody, because nobody know. It's like, well, I don't know what to say. Well, go home, talk to your TV, call me on the phone or something. You ain't got to sit around me. Now what you've done is made me feel more uncomfortable because now I'm going through what I'm going through and I'm looking at you like, I really want to tell you to leave. But I feel now, again, it ain't you. I'm feeling like, well, they here, so I should show. I ain't gonna show you nothing. If I don't want you here, bye. Okay, I'm just that. If there's something to be said, maybe old country boy can be just that. But if I'm gonna just say it, I ain't got time. Don't y'all know holding stuff in creates ulcers? That's what they told me.
It creates a lot of stuff.
Stress. Yeah.
It creates a lot of stuff. But again, even what you're saying though, if you in that scenario, if you're sitting there uncomfortable with people just sitting around staring, everybody quiet and just looking off, even that's a conversation. Like, why do we make ourselves, like, why do we take on that unnecessary turmoil when we can just say, hey, like, I appreciate the gesture, but I just want to be by myself.
Correct.
Whatever. Or if someone says, hey, I want to drop off some dinner. Okay, maybe what's convenient for them. Maybe you don't want to be around people right then. Right. Just let them know, like, thank you, but maybe tomorrow, or I'll let you know what you can do or how I need you to support. But right. I think it all goes back to a conversation and just being honest and upfront about where you are.
Correct.
And how people receive that, I don't think we have control over.
No.
Right. because
We
they're
can't.
receiving it from the place that they're at.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Everybody receives it from wherever they at. They may not receive it from where you sending it, but they gonna receive it at their house. You know, and that's what we have to. I just be like, you know what? Hey, how you receiving this thing? I understand what house you live in, but this the mail I'm delivering. I'm just the postman. All I'm doing is putting it in the box. Either you take it out or you leave it in. That's up to you. But people, too many times we try to uphill figure out what somebody thinking, what somebody feeling. You can't do it.
Can't do it. No.
You people can just
Stretch yourself
everybody.
out.
Yeah.
But I think y'all too, and I don't want to play this card, but I think it's true the way that women handle navigating these conversations sometimes just be toxic. I'm like, y'all, it don't have to be that deep. Like
No.
it didn't even have to go left. It didn't have to have any petty involved.
Correct.
Sub tweet or sub post, and they know who I'm talking. We don't have to do it, but again, to me, it goes back to maturity. And I can't, if I
That
don't
part.
think I can talk to you openly and transparently about whatever it is, big, small, indifferent, whatever. It's just like that's in my season. I need relationships that can self-maintain. I can't. I don't want
Definitely.
to have to comfort you based on me. I express something to you, now you crying. Now I'm feeling bad. No, I'm not doing that.
No.
At this, not at this adult.
No.
I want to
No.
be able to have a conversation and we chop it up. We get on the same page,
Right.
and that's it. And we move on.
And this conversation can't continue on. I can't keep having this conversation with you, or I need to, because I recently, and something I'm better at is saying, you know what, we cool, but we gonna, country boy always says it, just you can't eat at the table with me. We cool, but you just can't eat at my table. And
Correct.
so you know, you have friends who, you know, you don't always want to say someone's jealous or have something, but I've had people in my life, and someone in particular who just recently, it's like every time we're around people, there's always a jab or some kind of jib or something. Finally, the last one I got, I was like, you know what? I'm done with that.
No,
you know,
we're not
hey,
doing
how
that.
you doing? And we're gonna do, because I'm not gonna do that, because that means you shouldn't be in my space if we're not encouraging each other and we're not empowering each other. We're two Black women and we're doing that. First of all, I'm too old. Let's start today. I'm too old for it.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say
on that though, Trina. I like
Say
how
that
you
again?
said that you had to make the choice, because that's a choice.
It's a choice.
Continue knowing that this person, whoever the
It's
person
a
is
choice.
in there, knowing that this person throwing jabs or having a backhanded comments all the time, you can choose to continue to deal with it, or you can choose to say, you know what, they on the wave list, high and by, how the children, cool, and then you and then you
That
just know
part.
where to place them in your life, whether that's like you know, associates or whether that's strangers again, whatever. But I
Tell
feel
them
like
what you say about. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no,
And that's the thing. You have to know how to move people out of the way. And
yeah.
I have definitely gotten that way, because I'd rather be happy and me be chill than having to deal with all that extra stuff. I don't want to do that anymore. And when I made that decision, and I think as we all make that decision, we realize, you know, wow, it's so much more peaceful over here at this table over here. Even if I'm at the table by myself with three other chairs, but I'm by myself.
Protect your peace at any cost.
All I say is this: it's very simple. My life is so simple. It's like this, okay? What I know is I'm the coach. I know this right here. I know that there's people in my life that are bench players. That's what they're good for. They bench players. And I know that there are people in my life that are starters. What happened to a lot of folks is what they have taken as them bench players. That's all they good for a couple of minutes. They good for a couple, and you don't put them in the starting lineup of your life. Now, when they let you down and disappoint you, you mad. Why? Because you ain't got no you the one that chose to put people in the position. People will show you. Let me tell you, folks. If y'all ain't blind and crazy, folks, people will tell you the position that they can play in your life, not in somebody else's. Don't be looking at how they playing in somebody else's life, because maybe in somebody else's life they're a starter, but in yours they're a bench player. When they show you what they can play in your life, let them play their position.
And let it be
That
and be
part.
at peace with it. But I think too, country boy, like what you're saying, sometimes we try to fit the mold, meaning you want to force this person to be someone if they don't have the potential or capacity to be in. That's just not who they are. So instead of just finding your tribe, find the people that's already empowering, already walking in purpose, already doing great things. So they're like already positive. Stop trying to force a key into a door that's not it's not made for. Like that's just not
Yeah.
who that person is. Not saying that they can't ever be that, but as of this point, I have to make the decision to move. Like Country Boy said, I call them general admission. I got my VIPs and I got the general admission. People be like, "Oh, I didn't know you was doing that." You weren't gonna know. You were gonna
Right.
find out with general admission because
Right.
you're not VIP. You lost that.
Right.
So you know,
Right.
I mean, hey,
And
And
it
it's
becomes
okay.
easier, it becomes easier to do that. And I'm not saying I'm just throwing people out, but what I realize, and I feel it all up, because you start feeling, remember we had the book about discernment,
yeah,
one of our book
Yes.
clubs. And if I tell you
Discerning the voice of God.
that 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 thing there works with me. I talk to Donnie about it all the time. I said, and I tell people, child, when you ask for it and you pray for that, folks just
Yeah.
start showing, you just start seeing people. And
Yeah.
and it's really my daughter, my oldest daughter, because I really just like people and I trust people, and I do what Donnie do. I be putting them all on the starter list. But my daughter said one day, we were outside, and she said, "You know what, Mama, you have a lack of discernment."
Ooh.
mm,
And I said, and I had to think about that. And actually, it was before the book club book. And then we did the book. It was like it was
A
in line.
precursor to.
it always
Yeah.
happens.
And
Yeah,
Yep.
so when
That
I read
happens.
the book, it was like, yes, and I started doing that. And people have I've met so many wonderful, including Mr. Donnie Lewis. I've met so many wonderful people to replace the people I thought that I could not let go of. And
correct.
I found people, wonderful people, empowering people who have replaced those people. You know what I mean? And you feel it. I mean, it makes you feel so good, you know?
Country boy will say this, and I say this. I can't talk about nobody else. I talk about self personally. What was my issue was when I was holding on to people that didn't belong in the position. I was putting bench players in the starting position. You know why that was? Because I was a poor coach in my life. Because I didn't feel like I deserved to be a starter. So I'm gonna hang around with the ones who are bench players. So
Yes.
when I increase myself, I decrease
Abs-
my need upon them.
Yeah.
See, and what we think is like, oh well, what's gonna happen? Let me tell you something. Everybody can't fly this plane, baby. They ain't got but two people in the cockpit. I'm just tell you
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know if
Yeah.
y'all ain't never been on the plane, but ain't but two of them in there, and everybody else can't get in
Yeah.
there.
That's
Ain't but two.
right.
Yeah.
Ain't but two of them.
And I
And
was
we
gonna
need to understand that.
I was gonna say that earlier. I just think it's a caliber of people we choose. You choose drama, you have drama. You choose people with some type of intelligence and knowledge. That's what you get. And so I just think as we mature, and I'm not talking about age all the time, but as we mature, we choose.
Mhm.
You choose some.
Mhm.
We choose drama. We don't have to
Mhm.
be in drama. We choose drama. We choose to have conversation with people that find it difficult. Well, that's a choice.
Mm-hmm.
It's a choice. We choose. We make choices.
Oh, bam. You know what just came to old country boy mind?
What?
We choose when we're in that stage.
Absolutely.
If we in the old
Absolutely.
gospel stage, we choose to be
We
around the
choose
gospel.
that.
We in
Exactly.
the hating stage, we choose to be
We
around
choose
people
it.
who hate. But see, the
That's
thing
right.
is, what you choose to be in, you ain't got to stay in.
No,
That's right.
no,
That's right.
no. And then you have to often I think self-reflection has to be a part of
Mhm.
everybody's lives. Like it can't always be the other person.
Nope.
Yes.
Always finding
Yep.
yourself
Yep.
in some messy, negative, toxic type stuff. At what point do you pause and say, well, if you always the person that's getting cut off, you're not doing the cutting off, but everybody's cutting you off. At that point, it's like, what is it about me that's repelling people? What is it about
Right.
me that has what unattractive traits do I have to where people don't want to be or don't feel like they can have a conversation with me? They rather cut me off than to be able to work through this with me. So I think again, it has a lot to do with accountability. It has a lot to do with even do you care about it enough? Everybody
Right.
doesn't get a conversation. Some people to where it's like we're in passing. It's like that type of stuff. I don't fool with you. I don't care about it enough to have the conversation. But when you really care about somebody, when you love somebody, it comes correction. Like I said, if we can't pull each other to the side, if I can't tap Val on her shoulder and be like, "That's it,"
Right.
we ain't really cool like that. If
Right.
tap me and set me down, like she might not say something right then, but in behind closed, like, still, you didn't, that's when
Mhm.
you reach the level of like, okay, these are my people. They really for me. Like
Right.
no conversation is gonna get between. There's not a conversation that we could have that'll be difficult enough to make us cut each other off because we're aligned and we choose to be who we are to each other.
And
You know.
and we have to allow people to. We try to. I have tried to keep people in a position, and people will try to keep us in a position.
Mhm.
And sometimes the friction starts when we start expanding or they start expanding, and we hating it because now we feel like we're losing a friend. We feel like we're losing this person. But under everything comes to an end. Everything has an end. This life is a cycle.
That's
Everything
right.
ain't gonna stay the same. And when we understand that, is the most beautiful thing is growth.
Absolutely.
The
Yes.
most beautiful thing is growth. And I believe what you said was so powerful because of this. It took me probably 50 some years before I could remove the covers off of my mirrors in
Mm.
my house. And the reason was I was afraid to look at the person in that mirror because I didn't know me. And here I was
Mhm.
expecting somebody else to know me,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
expecting somebody else to be able to give me what I couldn't even give myself. So here I am looking external for everything that was already internal. But
Already.
until we
Right.
do that
Right.
and be
Yeah.
accountable for ourselves, be accountable for our actions, be accountable for our choices. You
Yeah.
know what? Dang it, I made a bad
Mhm.
choice. That was a bad.
Right.
I'm supposed
And
to be
own it. And
And
own it.
growth,
Own it.
everything's a
Yeah.
trade-off, country boy. Like everything is a trade-off. You said something so paramount. We're so afraid to lose people, but it's like, what's the trade-off? Do I want to lose me holding on to them? Do I want to lose my purpose, like the plans God has for me? Like he trying to elevate me and I'm trying to stay down here with the pigeons. So you
Mm,
want what they say, you want to soar with the eagles or you want to be in the Walmart parking lot eating crumbs off the ground?
come on.
It's choices.
Right.
So
Right.
I really think that we have to make up our mind about who we are going to be, and our circle should reflect that. Our conversation should reflect that.
Exactly.
The opportunities that we say yes to should reflect the person that we desire to be. Like we can't keep holding on and trying to. You said it's two people in the cockpit.
Hmm,
We got to be selective about passengers too.
come on.
Everybody can't ride.
Everybody can't
Everybody
ride.
can't fly.
Look here, you know what?
That
You know
part.
when I got tired? You know when I got tired? When I kept waking up, couldn't breathe. You know why? Because folks were sucking the life out of me.
Ooh wee. Mm, 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 mm.
Yep.
That's when I kept waking up at night trying to catch my breath, because I was letting other folks suck the life out of me. When we get to that point,
And even during the day, even during like on a regular day, feeling like you're so exhausted. Like I was exhausted and I had to figure out self-reflection, of course, but just being tired all the time. And you realize what's happening, that the people that have surrounded you have sucked the energy and the life and the beautiful person that you are, have taken it away. And
Mhm.
you're just, you feel negative, you feel tired, you don't feel like doing stuff. It might like I think I have a great personality, but when you start realizing your personality is a little different, is a little off, it's time to make a change.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's time to make a change. Guys, if
Yeah.
y'all don't mind, I'm gonna go back just a little bit because I want to make a point about something you guys mentioned about grief. We were going through something and how we need to be able to express it to others, what we
Mhm.
need from them. We My sister and I have a friend who very young person who has had breast cancer. And you know how when someone passes away, I am so uncomfortable. I am one of those that really don't say anything. My sister didn't say anything. When she heard, they talked a second, but she never contacted her during that entire time. And so my sister found that she wasn't talking to her anymore. So her name is Tamika, and she doesn't mind me telling this story. We talk about it all the time out loud. But she called my sister, and they had a conversation that was not difficult. And she explained to my sister, "You left me when I needed you, and all I
Mm.
needed was just for you to." And my sister said, "I didn't know what to say, but I didn't. You didn't have to say nothing. I just needed you there."
To be there.
And she helped her understand that it wasn't about what you said. You didn't have to say. I just needed to know you were there, and she felt
Correct.
deserted, if you will, because she didn't say anything. Not about buying me anything. Not about having the right words to say per se. Just knowing that you were there when I was going through. And the cool thing about that conversation is one a project has come out of it. They're working together with breast cancer events and things like that. And just that one conversation of someone, one being able to say, "Hey, let me explain what I needed."
Yeah.
Well, first of all, let's take a step back from her because I'm upset. But then coming back to say, "Hey, this is what I needed. This is what I need now." And my sister being able to receive it. Those two things are so important when we have a conversation. To have two, as y'all mentioned, mature people that can have a back and forth conversation, talk about what I need, what I didn't get, how you can give it to me. You know what I mean? So I wanted
Well,
to say that because it made me think about it.
Yeah.
well, Trina, that's healthy dialogue between two mature people.
Yeah,
When
definitely.
you're healthy, you can have healthy conversation. There's a saying that says healed people hear differently.
Mm.
If I'm healed and I'm okay, I can have that conversation with Seal and it's not an issue. She hears what I'm
Yeah.
saying, she's taking it in, her feelings are not hurt. Why? Because she's healed.
Mm-hmm.
So we're
Mm-hmm.
constantly if we're truly maturing, growing, healing, we can have those
Mm-hmm.
conversations and there's no offense.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is good. 'Cause, and maybe because I'm old, I think that sometimes if you remove the feelings and just think about it, sometimes because here's what I know. In all these years, I've discovered something. What I feel right now, I might not feel it 10 minutes from now. But if I roll on that emotion right now, all the things I'm rolling on how I feel right now, in a minute, I'm gonna be like, "Oh Lord, I shouldn't have done that because I felt like that."
Yes.
That text. That
Stick to
paragraph.
the facts.
Don't send those 3 paragraphs.
Stick to the facts.
Look,
Wait,
Stick to
you
the
can send it,
facts.
just erase it before you press the send button.
please don't just
Stick to the facts,
yes,
not the feelings.
absolutely.
That's
And then
it.
Yes.
that goes back to what we were saying earlier, Trina, about like you have to constantly evaluate. I think we evaluate everything like, okay, what kind of job do I want? What kind of car? Which dealership gonna give me the best offer? What neighborhood should I raise my family in? But when it comes to relationships and friendships, we don't evaluate enough. It's
We
like
don't.
it's not always that the other person is a bad person. It might be just a difference in seasons. Because you very well could have been my ride or die when I was
During that time.
25, 30.
Bad.
But now that I am in this season,
Right.
it's not personal. You're not a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a bad person. But we are
Mm-hmm.
in different stages in our lives. You
Yes.
know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So again, I think that we just have to constantly evaluate. There's this so for example, Trina, name like 3 things that you value in a friend. Like if this was your ideal friend, what are 3 things you would value in a friendship?
Honesty, and I know I'm not supposed to say loyalty, but I say loyalty. I still have the honesty, loyalty, and what is it? What word am I looking for? Inspire. That's not the word, but it's something like that.
They're like
Like I need
inspiring,
them to
motivation.
supportive. Let's go with supportive.
Okay, so honesty, loyalty, and be supportive. So based off those 3 things that you value, evaluating your current circle, is Val honest, loyal, and supportive? Is this person honest, loyal, and
Mm-hmm.
supportive? If you're looking at these people in your direct vicinity and they don't align with those things that matter to you, what is the relationship?
Don't do
So
that.
you're not
Exactly.
loyal, you're not honest, you're not supportive, but we're still calling each other bestie. It's like, what sense does it make to continue? So when you're talking about when is it time to let go, when you can sit back and examine yourself and be like, this is what matters to me. Am I getting this? Am I getting this? Are they able to offer me this? I feel like we have to look at it as if it's anything else we evaluate in life.
Well, can I ask the question on that? Because
Yes,
this how I view my dinner plate. Am I getting it for them, but am I giving it as well?
as well. You
Yeah,
nah. Can't expect nothing you ain't serving now.
Yeah,
that's
same.
right.
You know,
That's
and on
right.
the
We
flip,
both gotta be eating. Like, what you mean? I'm not just gonna be the only one in the kitchen now.
That's right. That's right.
So yeah. But
it,
Yeah,
country boy, that's maturity. To be
maturity.
able to ask for something, knowing that I can't require this of you if I'm not even able to
Yeah.
give it. Like that's
right.
again, it goes back to accountability, and no one has to tell you, country boy, you ain't supportive. You know when you ain't supportive, you got that's a part of
You
that
know.
Hmm.
self accountability. So yeah, I think once we get clear about like what we value and who we are, we start attracting just naturally those types of people, those types of opportunities come effortlessly. It's
I
like
agree.
Yeah.
you in the right
I
room, you
agree.
find yourself in the right room with the right people just because you was like, you know what, these are the type of people that I want to be around.
Yes.
I
Part.
make it
Yes.
kind of
That
simple
part.
for me. Look here, I say this, and this is future relationships, friendships, dateships, coachships. It's a very simple question that I ask now.
All the ships.
All them ships. You know what? You know what a ship's supposed to do, right? It's supposed to carry something from one place to the next. And
Yes.
if the ship is stuck in the middle, that ain't a ship. That's a sunk. But
Oh Lord.
The Titanic.
but my thing is this: if asking a person, what is it that I can add value to you to help
Love
you
that.
reach the potential that God has for you? One, and the potential that we have for each other. Now, if you can't pour into me to help me reach the vision that God has individually and collectively, if you can't even answer that, like I don't know what I can bring to you, nothing. Look, yo,
Noted.
nothing.
Noted. Great. Thanks. Awesome.
I
Amazing.
sure appreciate that. That was a good answer. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you. No answer is an answer.
Is an
Thank
answer.
Yeah.
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Amazing. Val and I were just saying in the car earlier today. I'm just like, and you know me, Trina. I'm always like joking, but I'm always serious too.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just so happy to be connected to you. I was telling Val that, and she was like, I'm happy to be connected to you. I'm like, well, we happy to be connected to each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's how
Yeah.
it's supposed to be, though. It should be mutually that
Definitely.
beneficial and value. Like you said, country boy. Sometimes I'm depleted. But in that point, she can step up and pour because she knows that when on days where she's like, whew, it's a little rough today, Seal. It's like, I got you, and that's something that is like, I hope and I pray that everyone experiences those type of friendships
Yeah.
in this lifetime because it's so paramount to have those type of people that they can tell when you're
Definitely.
not yourself. They can tell when it's like, okay, like Val, I recently had a procedure and another incident to happen like the 2 weeks later, and Val was like, okay, don't be over there suffering in silence. Like, I got you what you need. Like, I'm on the way. Just let me know. And
Yeah. Because she wasn't gonna say anything, and I'm like that too. You
Yeah.
won't say anything.
Same
You
thing.
rather, But I also knew I'm like, no, I'm gonna say something now. Which if she chooses or not to comply, then that's another thing. But I'm gonna put it out there, and I'm gonna say because I
Awesome.
don't want you will never say, oh, well, nobody can. No, I care,
Mhm,
and I'm gonna show you that I care.
absolutely.
That,
Yeah.
that's so valuable. I
Yeah.
mean,
Definitely.
it's when people sometimes people get caught up in this thing. It's in their own world of what they want and what they want, and this is what I need. This is what I need, and you're always looking for it exteriorly, and but when you can't have that, you have that person that pours into you genuinely and that cares about you and cares about your well, cares how you doing on the for real, for real.
Yeah.
You know, too many people are so, now don't get this wrong. Let me say this right. Selfish is not a bad thing
Oh.
because you have to care about yourself because you before you can ever care about anybody else.
Mhm.
But some
Mm-hmm.
people take that whole thing to a whole nother level.
Mhm.
And why be jealous of my smile? Baby, you can have it too. I'm
Right.
telling you, I promise you, this thing ain't exclusive to countryness. You can have it too. You
That's
know,
right.
I'm gonna tell y'all this, and I'm gonna shut my trap up. I'm gonna shut my old triple trap. Look here, at 57 years of age, let me tell y'all something. I have paid a very high price for peace.
Mm.
And let me
Mhm.
tell y'all something. I'm gonna anybody listening, might be listening, might hear this next week, next month, 250 years from now. The price our old country boy has paid for peace. My mama, my daddy, my sister, my brother, my next door neighbor, my cousin, my uncle, my children. Can't nobody have it for free. The price that I have paid, I'm not finna just go like and give my piece of. So if I'm considered whatever you want to consider me, but one thing you can say, that boy at peace. Okay, let me tell you something. He at peace. You can't even you can't even disturb it. Ain't finna happen.
Mm.
That's right.
Mm-mm. So that's, I think, your answer, Trina. When your peace is in, when you're not at peace with a friendship or situation, I think that's when you know that, hey, maybe a conversation is warranted. And if you still don't find peace in it, maybe it's one that you just have to scale back on or reorganize on the totem pole. And I think it's okay. It don't always have. It's not personal. I always start my
Right.
conversation with that. It is not personal.
It's not personal.
It's just facts. It's just
It's
it's just
facts.
leave the
Country
emotion.
boy, you have to start saying that when you giving me tough love. It's not personal. You gotta say that first.
I'm saying it's personal.
And it's personal. Country would say it's personal. You
It's
know.
straight personal. I'm just telling you like I is.
And I'll say that when I mention people that have come into my life, Country Boy, man, Country Boy asked me to be on his show one day, and we end up collaborating
Yeah.
on this show. We're on another show, and we've done a lot together. And those things that I listed in my it's him. You know, I know a lot of people don't believe in. I fuss about this on the show all the time about people don't believe in male female relationships,
Oh.
but it's a very good friendship. It's a great
Mhm.
friendship, and we are, we bounce off each other. Just what you guys said. I'd be like, he be telling me I'm his mentor. And I'm like, I'm your mentor. You're my mentor. Like, you
Yeah.
know. I mentioned to you when we started the show today, guys. I said he mentioned me in a room that I wasn't in for me to be on this show. That is what he does. He mentions me. Now, I sometimes, country boy, what do I do? Sometimes say, no, I don't want to just come. I don't want them just to be bringing me because you're along. And the other day, he had the podcast that we're on. He had him call me with him on the phone and be like, let her know that it's not me bringing her along. But I'm being funny, but it's just the
Yeah.
fact that you have a friend who's not jealous, who wants to bring you along with them, who wants you to
Mhm.
be lifted up just like he is. That's a friendship. There's no
Trina,
jealousy. He wants me to be where he is. That is what I've learned to love. Mm-hmm.
Trina, one thing, I mean, what you just said to me was iron sharpens iron.
Yep.
And if
Mm-hmm.
iron is sharpening iron, if you're in a if this person is, the iron, you're iron, this person's iron, y'all
Mm-hmm.
both iron, y'all go into a room, they're supposed to mention you. They're
Yeah.
supposed to. That's what you're supposed to do. And that gets you to other rooms. And that gets you to other rooms where you're sharpening more iron with other people that are iron. So it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
scared of being around the people that are not the iron, that are not mentioning my name in the room. They're
Not mention my
supposed
name.
to mention your name in the
Mm-hmm.
room. They're supposed to.
Definitely.
The people that don't, I question them.
Hey Val, let me tell
Definitely.
you.
And that is
Let me
something
tell you
that
this.
throughout this, I'm sorry, country boy, go ahead.
I was gonna tell Val this old. Let me tell you this old church thing from this old country preacher. If we follow God's instructions on how to build the table, He will seat the guests.
That's right. I
Mhm.
love it.
Put it on
Love
the
it.
shirt. What a shirt says.
I need that. Yeah, that needs to be on the shirt.
Hey, boy,
That's a
put it on
shirt.
the shirt.
You know
Right.
how
You
you
can put it
always
on
hear
that
people.
same red like you got on right now. Put that on the shirt. I'll send you our addresses after the show.
You always
Yes.
hear people talking about building the table, and this who gonna sit at my
A seat
table.
at the table.
Follow
Mm-hmm.
God's instruction on how to build that thing
Right.
and let him seek to get. Because them that
And
ain't
he
supposed to be
will.
sitting there, he ain't gonna even let them in.
That's right.
We worried about who coming to the table. Build the thing like God told you to.
That's right.
That's
That's right.
Val got it. See, I'm not
Yes.
even gonna say how we even started to become like Val and Seal was her being obedient to God's voice. And Val can I'll let her Val says the story, but God spoke to her to come
Yeah.
to me. And had she not been obedient, like the things that we built, like I mean, just over the last few years, personally and professionally, I mean, it was off her obedience. Like we weren't even close like that. We just worked at the same school. But God spoke to her to come to me and connect with me. And it was just like, man, it's just like it's been up ever since.
Yes.
That's how it's supposed to be.
That's
You
how it's
know,
supposed to be.
obedience is better than sacrifice.
Yes, it is.
Obedience is better than sacrifice. You know, I don't know if people just truly understand that and truly get it. You know, here's the thing. Country word, preacher time. God speaks to all of us. Some of us just got too much wax in our ears.
Ooh.
Wow, that's gonna be in the back of the shirt. So
Yeah.
we got the front.
Donnie, you know what? You done made all these shirts. You need to go and get these shirts now. Get these shirts
That's right.
done.
That's right.
So we building a table. God gonna seat the guests. We got
Yeah,
the God speaks to everybody. Some people just
that's
got
right.
make it.
Waxing their
So we
ears.
got the front, the back. All
The
right.
side patches. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I know that's
That
right.
is so true though. Lord, it's so true.
Yeah.
Well,
You know?
the clock on the wall, you know, with Donnie, I have to always do this because he'll keep us on here two,
Yeah.
3 hours, but it ain't him. It ain't him and I have nothing. But I have to put up the church fist.
The church.
But Donnie likes to ask a question. So I'm gonna let him do his thing on the question.
I do. I do. I don't know if she informed y'all. Old Country Boy really don't ask no questions. But I have one that's uh, near and dear to my heart. It really is. And it's one that it took me a long time to be able to answer for myself. So now I think that it's very, very, very important for everyone, even if you don't ask it or answer it out loud, at least you can go back and ask yourself the same question. And everyone's got an answer. It may be buried underneath, but everybody's got an answer. So to you two wonderful, wonderful ladies, I have a question for each one of y'all individually. Tell me when you're ready. If you're ready, here we go. I like to here we go. The simple question is this. It's very simple, but it's very complex. What is your why?
Oh,
Oh. Oh.
wow.
I mean, sis, you want to go? I feel like we've had this question before.
We have. I know for me, uh, I don't come from the typical family background or family makeup. I was probably considered in elementary school. I just came back from my high school reunion, and
Yeah.
you if you didn't look a certain way, you're not, worthy. I came from you're not supposed to be this because of this.
Mhm.
Um, and over the years, life has been lifing. Things have happened. People have come. People have gone. People have lived. People have died. Important people in my life. And so for me, my why is to bring purpose. Because for me, not having the people around my life, um, having them in my life, I never saw who I really was, if that makes sense. Because I was so busy being the role. I was being a wife, I was being a daughter, I was being a sister, I'm still being a mother.
Mhm.
And so I never really got to see, okay, who are you? What do what is your purpose? What is your point? And so my point is to bring awareness. One of the things I bring awareness to is grief and loss, as we talked about earlier. Just having those conversations that are considered difficult about grief and loss, because, as a community, as a culture, we don't talk about death and dying. We don't talk about grief and loss. We turned it into something criminal. We turned it into something where people are no longer your friend because this person died and they don't know what to do with you anymore.
Mhm.
So that is a huge, huge chunk of my purpose
Mhm.
is to bring awareness and have those conversations and encourage other people to have their dialogue as well.
Mm,
Love
mm.
that.
I
Yeah.
like look. Oh, Country Boy finna go deep on you on that one. I'm gonna let you ride on that because
Okay, we can go there.
I'm finna jump in the water, but I'm because my co-host gave me the fit. She gave me the fit.
Yes, 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 yes. I mean, Val and I have different walks of life, but a lot of alignment and just, of course, the painful parts of the things that we've had to overcome. I think that at the end of my life, people are going to see a true testament of the last should be first. I feel like,
Mhm.
God had to really break my heart. He really had to break my heart. I've heard painful things, experienced painful things, went through a lot, but he almost had to strip me down and then build me back up. And so I have this tagline on my website. It's heal, deal, elevate. And I think that that is a order of my life. Like I want to show children, women, and youth how to heal. Yes, healing, it feels very ugly. It's heavy. Nobody wants to deal with it, but it's purpose there. And then dealing with your current circumstances. Now that you've healed from the past, you have to deal with what's right in front of you.
Mhm.
You have to equip yourself. You have to look ahead towards something else, but you can't. Everybody wants to get to elevate. I just want to be here already, but there's
Mhm.
levels to this.
Go through
You
it.
have to start from
Mhm.
the past. You have to mend that little girl in you. You have to mend that little boy in you.
Mhm.
You got to deal with yourself, and then you elevate, and it can all be beautiful, even though it doesn't feel that way. So
Mhm.
Val and I are both published authors. We speak a lot. I spend a lot of time mentoring young girls, young brown girls, and black boys that look like me. A lot of my children's books are geared towards little black and brown girls and boys because I know that it's so easy for the world to teach us how to hate ourselves. And so if I can reach them early in life, to pour into them, no, you're not ugly. No, you're not just cute for a black girl. No, you're not just gonna be laying on your back or just like your mom and cousin them. No, you can do more. You can be a little girl from
Mhm.
H Town and still be that. You can still make it
Mhm.
out of that environment. And so I take all of the painful experiences in life and then I try to reach back and pay it forward so that hopefully if I can help prevent somebody else from going down that long detour, delayed path of just losing
Yeah.
themselves, killing themselves, picking themselves up again. If I can catch them early, that would definitely make me feel fulfilled. And I've been able to do that. So I'm gonna keep doing more of that. And just keep talking and having these conversations.
Yes.
There would be a point to when I would think about some of the things that God brought me through that I wouldn't be able to talk about it without crying. And so the fact that I can have these
Mhm.
conversations with y'all is just growth of just how God
Yes.
will strengthen you enough to, even if you're going through your
Yes.
own stuff, you still have strength enough to pour into the next person.
Yes.
Right.
And so yeah, my why is what God, I'm just gonna keep doing what God is expected me. It's a large call, country boy. It ain't easy, but I'm gonna
Well,
keep
Right.
I'm gonna tell you right now, he ain't hear me enough not to cry because I'll be done drop the tear all up in this thing. I'll be snitting and snotting. I'm
We are.
good.
We are.
Hey.
You said something that really it almost did bring one when you talked about the hurt and going through. I have this thing that I ride on is this: is God allowed me to be broken in front of Him so He could heal me in front of them.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Um, I, I I so believe that anything that we can talk about, the thing that we went through, we were meant to. He gave us strength. He was there when we were whatever it was that we were in. He gave us. He knew that we could get to that point, and he knew that he would bring us through.
Mhm.
And for us to be able to say the word through, you know how powerful that is.
That's
Some people
right.
say, "I'm going through." That means you steady
You
moving, baby.
moving.
You going through. When you can say, "Ooh, I'm going through a tough time," that means you ain't say I done stopped in a tough time.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's
When you can
right.
stay through.
That's right.
Yeah.
That means you know, and the God in you, even if this thing up here in your eyes don't see it, that means the God in you know that there's a light on the other side when you can say going through.
That's right.
Something inside of you telling you you ain't finna stop right here.
That's right.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
That is the greatest. People, they may not even get the word. They just say it just haphazardly going through. That's something big.
Yeah.
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 I just looked up as y'all were talking. I just looked up the scripture, and I thought about Job. You
Oh,
know,
yes.
though he slay me, yet will I trust him.
Yet,
Yet
yet,
will I trust him.
yet.
Yeah.
I'm still trusting.
Yeah.
And that's my story, y'all. I mean, to sum it up, you talk about purpose, you talk about your why. That is, I know without a shadow of doubt. Though he slay me, yet I will trust him. He hasn't failed me. He hasn't
That
failed.
part.
God hasn't failed me yet.
Yeah.
He hasn't failed. People may have failed, but he has not.
Yeah. And that's what, sis, what did we say earlier on? Like separating the person. We expect God from people.
Yes.
Oh gosh, yes.
Yes.
We have to stop that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's where the disappointment lies. That's where the
Yes. The
resentment
expectation.
lies. We have to stop expecting God
Hmm.
people.
From people.
And
That's
Country
right.
Boy said it, no matter what, you can look around, people have come and gone. People you said, oh, I'm gonna be riding with them forever, and
Hmm.
hell, it was 2 months, but who was the constant? Like who's there when you crying at night in the shower trying to be quiet, think your kids sleep, you breaking, he's the only constant, the only one
That's
that's
right.
always there. And we just have to
It's
stay
always there.
focused on him. And
That's right.
Trina, I'm gonna say this to you because I know you hard on yourself. I have seen the growth in you just in the time that we have been connected. And when we spent time during our book club with No Sis and so many things, it's just like
Mm-hmm.
I remember our conversations we had of
Mm-hmm.
understanding and just clarity and looking at different perspectives and growing together in that book and in that those conversations. I've seen the growth. I've seen how lighter
Mhm.
you feel and you look. So you just keep doing what you're doing,
That's right.
and yeah, it's gonna be a we
Yeah,
not.
thank
I
you.
always say I'm not stopping until I get my happily ever after. So
That part. That
I
part.
you gonna get
Yes.
Country Boy getting it. I'm getting it. Val
Yes.
getting it, and that's
Mhm.
that. So just keep doing what you're already doing.
That's
And
right.
it's something we talk about the word growth. Donnie and I use it all the time. Matter of fact, I call him and say, you know what? Somebody, I told him to call him today, and I was like, let me tell you, I just did something. Somebody said something to me, and I could have said this, but you know what? I didn't. I just said, okay. Oh, that's so hard to do. When somebody
Yes.
really, he said, you know what I see? I see growth. That was growth. Aren't
That's
you?
right.
He
That's
always
right.
reminds you of that. We play and laugh a lot, but having that part of it, like you and Sil, we have that to where we can bounce off each other. It's not somebody just, I probably take more from you, Donnie. I know you pull more. I know I'm taking, but you know what? I love you just because you allow it. But
Yeah.
I have to tell him sometimes, Donnie, I need for you to give me some of your problems. I need you to lay them on the altar so I can, so I
See,
can
let me
help
tell you,
you. So,
she be asking for something I be done gave to the good Lord a long time ago. Look here,
then gave it
Hey.
to the Lord. Then gave it to,
I don't, and I don't say this because I'm a big bad ball or nothing else. It's because I know there ain't nothing. Some things ain't nothing I can do about it. When where we are right
Hmm.
now, this
Hmm.
is, and I tell somebody, I told some people this story. When I leave and I drive to work and I see all the things and I pray, my prayer is this is one prayer is this is God, I know wherever I'm going to, you already been there. This
That's
road,
mm-hmm.
right.
this road that we on right now, each and every one of us, where we are right now, guess what? We here because he's already paved the way. All
That's
we got
right.
to do is stay the trail.
That's right.
All we got to do is stay the trail. He not everybody be talking about, well, God direct my path. He is.
Yeah.
Just stay on it.
Yeah.
Get that
Yeah.
part.
Stay
That's
on
right.
it. You keep veering over here talking about, well, God, get back on the path.
Yeah.
Because if you walking today, you are walking a path that he's already laid.
That's right. But you know what,
Mhm.
country boy, to me, I hear, but that when people say that kind of stuff, to me, it's a testament of they're not trusting. You can't be trusting. If you're truly trusting, you already know the way it's been made. We just got to keep walking.
That's it.
As you said, we just got to keep moving. The
My,
way has already been laid out. It's already been made.
Yeah, you
look,
got to make up
he
your
said
mind
somewhere.
though. You have to make up your mind because what happens is we'll say God direct my path, but then he be like, oh no, not that path.
Not that path. This path over here. I'm going.
Like,
This
yeah,
this
I
one over
wanted
here.
but I wanted because we want God to make our path what we wanted it to be.
Yes.
We want it
We
to look like
cannot
we want it.
come on. So it's a lot in there. You're not trusting, and are you
Not
fully
trusting the
letting go? Are
plan.
you fully letting go and letting God? It's a cute
Ah,
scripture. It's a cute quote. We can put it a hashtag. Let go, let God. Great. It sounds good, but are you
But are we
really
doing that?
Are
ready?
we truly doing
Are
it?
you
Are
really
we really
ready
doing
to
it?
let Him be the conductor and be the author and the finish? Like, are you ready? Because that
let me,
path is not going to necessarily
it
look
ain't,
like what you have
amen.
envisioned it to.
And
Well,
look here,
and
I was just gonna
it's
say, I say this right here is a lot of people be like, well, God, give me the desires of my heart. God, you know my heart. You know what I say? God, give me the desires of your heart
Your
for
heart.
me.
Thank
Give
mhm.
me what you want for me, but make me right to receive it.
you.
For those who do what? Delight themselves in the Lord.
In the Lord.
He'll give us the desires of our
Yeah.
hearts. But
But
we have to delight ourselves in
they
Him.
don't
We
say
have to
that
put
whole
out.
scripture though. We
Well,
take
that's
That's
all
right.
good.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's not
Yes.
That's
a
right.
genie. We cannot rub the lamp, and he
Yes.
it don't work like that. So yeah, we're gonna
My
quote
past
scripture. We got to quote that whole thing.
whole
No.
thing. That's right. He's not a cosmic bellhop like my former pastor used to say. A cosmic bellhop. Come, okay, go,
Yeah.
come.
Right.
No,
Right.
that's not how it
Yeah.
works. No,
Yeah. Yeah.
no.
I love this conversation. Yeah,
This was
and
really
y'all,
good.
I'm not sure how many people are in like the comments on YouTube and Facebook, but Val says this all the time. Somebody might not necessarily make it to church or necessarily have somewhere where they're streaming, but they might have just, witnessed something in just this conversation alone.
Yes.
So I think
Yes,
that's why it's just so important for like minds and like people to continue to connect and have these
yes.
transparent and vulnerable conversations. So we never know who we're impacting and who we're helping along the way.
So
So
true.
That's
yeah.
it. That's it. You know, and I know this, and I
Definitely.
tell my
Definitely.
co-hosts all the time,
Well, ladies,
this is
oh,
oh,
sorry.
Country Boy always says this little thing, then I'm gonna shut up for real. Is this is I know my show individually, our show collectively is not for everybody. But what I know for sure from the good Lord is for somebody. It might not
That's
be for
right.
everybody, but it's for
For
somebody.
somebody. I
Yes.
know that's right.
Man, I love it.
I know that's right. Yes.
He also let everybody know if you don't want to hear what we talking about, y'all can keep on strolling.
No,
So
don't.
Hey, it's
that's
simple.
his favorite line.
It's very simple. It's
Keep
very
on
simple.
strolling. There you go. You don't have to watch.
But for
Um,
real, before we leave, Trina, make sure when y'all make these shirts, give me a size medium. The size medium
yes,
would be
we gotta get on
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Right
yeah,
before you
yeah.
go home, you do it. Well, ladies, I've enjoyed it, and I knew that you guys would be a good match for our conversation. We would love to have y'all back again. We're on every Monday. We don't usually come on till 8, but we make adjustments. But we had another show tonight, so we kind of ran over. But thank y'all for your patience. Thank you for coming on. This was a great conversation. And I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna tell you guys because you mentioned that you saw that you've seen growth. But so I do a vision board every year. But my first thing on my thing that I said I was not going to do anymore. So when I would talk to people, I would always say, I would start off with, okay, I'm not trying to be holier than God. I'm not trying to be holier than thou. But I'd always start out with that. And so I made a promise. Was in January, Country Boy? I guess that was when I did my vision board. I came on and I publicly said I would never say that again because I am spiritual. I
Yeah.
am. That is where I'm trying to go. That is the journey that I'm on, and it's been great. Everything's not perfect. There are things I have to learn. But it's been great. You know what I mean? It's a great feeling to be able to speak freely and speak about this without being, I guess, embarrassed, I guess, or making excuses for the way I feel and what I'm saying. I'm able to talk to other people and say certain things. Now when they're going through, I can say these kinds of things. And so it's a wonderful, wonderful feeling. Country Boy, you ready to take us
Mhm.
home in your
I,
wonderful
I,
way?
was-
Again,
I
let me
was
say,
ready.
oh, one more thing.
I'll show enough do it. And look here,
Hold on,
y'all.
hold on, hold on.
What,
Hold on,
what?
time out. I forgot to say, can y'all tell us your websites and name of your businesses? I'm so sorry.
Yes, of course. So for me, my everything is Seal the Writer. So SIL, like you see on the screen, the Writer, WRITER. So on Instagram, Facebook, you can type in Seal the Writer to follow my pages. My website is sealthewriter.com. My full name is Cecilia Smith. It spells like it sounds. I mean, I know. Just call me Seal. It's fine. But Seal the Writer. Seal the Writer is that's where you'll find me. And again, I'm a published author. I also am the owner of Book Seal LLC. So I have a ton of clients that been able to help become published authors, and I'm also a photographer as well. Those are my purpose jobs outside of my 9 to 5 as a project manager. So would love to connect with y'all. I like talking. So, if you slide in my DMs, make sure it's about business.
Yes, indeed. Oh
You
my.
wouldn't believe
Yes.
some of those country boy gets in his DMs, child. He is a hot commodity out here in these streets.
They be.
I bet.
Y'all, this my business page, y'all.
I bet.
Oh Lord.
Oh wow.
All right, Miss
Wow.
Val.
And so for me, on Facebook, I am Valerie Johnson Reed. I do also have another Facebook page, it's Strong to the Finish Motivationals. I'm currently revamping my website, so it is not up and running, but it will be shortly. On Instagram, I am strong at Strong to Thee, and so I'm here. I'm a speaker. I am a minister as well. I do have some speaking engagements coming up. One in San Antonio this weekend, and we'll be speaking at the Texas Technology Conference, talking about special education. And at the end of this month, on the 28th, I'll be speaking about teaching all of our children and talking about special education, co-teach, inclusion. And that's a hot topic, and that's a whole nother story and a whole nother day. But
My
that's
sis.
where I'm at.
Wow.
I know that's right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Wow. Look,
Well,
pass
thank
the
y'all
way.
again, and we're gonna let Country Boy give his last
Pass the
words.
way over yonder. Pastor. I should have passed the pastor over there.
You know what? You starting trouble. You starting trouble.
Pass.
Lord Jesus.
I love it.
Only because
Y'all
it's you
know
and
sometimes
Trina.
I turn
Only.
on to
Um,
get ready to start the show, and he be back there just singing loud. I'm like, what are you doing? Loud.
my goodness.
Love it here.
I love it.
All right, Country Boy, let's go. Let's get it
I
going.
thank I thank both of y'all for coming. I really do. It is. I'm sorry that I didn't get to catch everything, but man, it has been tremendous to hear y'all continue walking in your destiny, continue walking in it. Thank you so very much. Thank you, co-host, for allowing me to pop in, pop out, whatever I do, like that. But anyway. As we get ready to shut this old thing down, I will say this once more again on Monday, since I didn't get to do my introduction, we have rocked out the NFL once more again. Guess what? Y'all talking about Dallas was playing tonight, though the real stars was right here on Speak On It. That's where the real stars at, baby. Said what I said. I don't care about you, Daddy Cowboy fan. Y'all need to be looking at this too, because it's a real game right here, baby. This is the real stuff. Anyway,
America's favorite team on this call right here.
That's right. That's right. Hey.
Yeah. That's how we do it. This is how we do it. Anyway.
Don't get us going. We music girls right here. Thank y'all so much. Thank you for having us on.
Yes. Thank you so much.
It has been an honor and a privilege. And as we get ready to get up out of here, I just want to say thank you once more again. And I just want to say this. Look here. To all you people that are listening, watching, being nosy, rolling through, whatever it may be. You might have heard something, just grab a hold to it and hold on to it. Look here. Understand this. If the good Lord has given you a vision, if he has planted something inside of you, if He's giving it to you. Don't worry about them folks that sit up because they gonna do it. Trust me. Oh, Country Boy know this, and I'm sure the guest and my host know this, my co-host know this for sure. It's gonna be folks to tell you what you can't do, tell you ain't this and you ain't that, you ain't smart enough, you ain't got this, you ain't got enough money, you ain't got enough color, you ain't got enough whatever. Don't worry about things. Because if the good Lord has given you a vision, trust this old boy right here. He will provide the provision.
Yes, he will.
If he did it in the Garden of Eden, he gonna do it for you. Trust me, if he did it way back then, he gonna do it again. And he gonna continue to do it. And lastly, but not leastly, if you woke up this morning and you open your eyes and you clean out your ears and all you could hear was the wind. And if you was out in Houston, Texas today, rolling around, it was a little bit cooler today. But if you was out there and you was listening and you heard the birds and you heard the cars, but you didn't hear these words. Here it is at 9 p.m. on a Monday. And you're finna hear it right here, right now. Look here. We love you. We love you. And we love you unconditionally. And there ain't nothing, absolutely, positively nothing that you can do about it. Thank y'all very much. My co-host got the button. All I got to do is sit here.
Good night, y'all. Thank you so much. See y'all soon.
Bye.
Bye.